Hey everybody, welcome to another Fair or Foul. I am Jose Taboada alongside Norb Cabrera. And unless you're a fan of the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Mariners, or the Yankees, you are having the time of your life with what's going on with the American League wild card picture. Because Norb, I'm not having fun. I don't know what
Me
fun is anymore.
neither. I don't know how I can handle my blood pressure at this point in time.
It's bad. My blood pressure is gone, completely gone. But aside from the madness of where everybody's favorite teams are, this is why we love baseball, and I can't think of a more thrilling finish in recent years. I really can't, because I mean obviously 2020 was such a mess with everybody basically going in, but this is why we love baseball, Major League Baseball. And again, this is setting up to be one of the most incredible finishes, as I said, in maybe Major League history. I don't want to go that far, but this is pretty good. This is really really good. I mean, the other time I can think of was maybe the 2011 season with the Rays and the Cardinals getting in on the last day, after they crawled their way back to clinch playoff spots. Which of course for the Cardinals it worked out because they ended up going to the World Series and winning it anyway. Um, let's take a look at where we stand today with the playoffs picture, because at the time of this recording, it is day 162 for MLB. Sorry, day 161. Excuse me, day 161 for MLB, because I'm speaking as if like we're going to see day 163, which we very much could. But yes, here's where we stand on day 161. In the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays clinched the playoff spot, clinched the division, clinched the best record in the American League, so they will get home field advantage throughout until they get to the World Series, depending on where the record of who the team in the National League is for the World Series, and that's if the Rays make it to the World Series. And the Houston Astros claim yet another division title, despite everything to do with that bloody garbage can and the loss of George Springer. They make it to another division title, and the Chicago White Sox, for the first time, I believe, since 2008, clinch the American League Central. So they are your three division winners. They all move on and avoid the wild card mess that's going on right below them. Of course, the Yankees, the Sox, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays all fighting for that. For those two playoff spots. I say two because the Yankees, while they're a game ahead on Boston right now for the top wild card spot, there could still technically be a freak way for them to not make it, and I'll explain all that in a little bit. So we have that four-way tie. We'll talk about the tie in a bit. In the National League, the San Francisco Giants have clinched a playoff spot, but they did not clinch a division because the Dodgers are still fighting for that potential division title. So the Giants and the Dodgers, they're going to the playoffs. The Brewers clinched the Central. The Braves clinched the East. The Cardinals clinched the second wild card spot in the National League. But again, St. Louis is trying to figure out where they're going. Are they going to Los Angeles for the first wild card game, or for the only wild card game, or are they going to San Francisco? Because again, the Giants and the Dodgers are going at it, which is again incredible, thrilling baseball, considering that the Giants have 106 wins and the Dodgers have 104. Can you imagine that 100 plus a team with 100 plus wins not winning a division? That is
It's
hilarious.
surreal. It's absolutely crazy. The competition in Major League Baseball is just so heavy, and for a team that's won 100 games, and to only play a wild card one and done game, it's absolutely a shame because I wish these series are a little longer, rather than just the one and done like what they do in the NFL. But when you see these teams win 100 games, they're an exciting team. They're always going to be an exciting team. But for working hard all season long for that one and done wild card game, like that's what makes you think how competitive baseball is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And of course, the wild card game would go. The winner of the wild card game would end up going to, uh, again, San Francisco or Los Angeles, depending on where that all plays out. So we could end up seeing a Dodgers Giants National League Divisional Series, which of course we leave out the Cardinals. But again, don't count out the Cardinals because they won like what 16 straight in the last week and a half.
17 game unbelievable winning streak. That's
So I
the
wouldn't
main
like
reason why they're there.
And again,
because of that winning
definitely.
streak.
And again, if I were the Dodgers and the Giants, I know you have amazing records. I know the Dodgers just lost Kershaw, who may be out for the playoffs. At least he didn't punch a wall like that Brewers pitcher did in the middle of his National League Central Division party. Good God. Um, I would not underestimate the Cardinals, and I like the Cardinals. I mean, if I had to pick a National League team to root for, I would pick the Cards probably, or maybe the Mets. But I really really like the Cardinals, and I would like to see them do well here. I'm all for upsets, you know that. So I think if the Cardinals can sneak by, that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be, and again, it's a solid lineup, 17 straight wins, everything's clicking for them. So of course, again, if I were the Dodgers or the Giants, I mean, not only would I want to, secure the division title and get the bye, but I would mainly be playing. I would be playing with the mentality of, I don't want to see the Cardinals on Wednesday, October 6th, which will be the day of the National League wildcard game. And of course, I think this is a great transition to where we ask, who the hell is going to be playing on Tuesday, October 5th? That's the big question in terms of the American League wildcard game, to the point where we may not even see a game on Tuesday because of how complicated this is. Um, and forgive me for going long, Nor, but I think we have to. I think it's only right that we break down. Like MLB posted up on Instagram last night all the scenarios, because yes, these scenarios can actually happen, from a four-way tie for the two wild card spots, which would include all four teams to pick slots on who goes where, face each other, and then the winners of those two games are in the wild card game, which of course would have to be postponed. No, it would not be postponed because the game would happen on Tuesday. Everything day 163 would happen on Monday, regardless. If we need to get to 163, which again looks like we most likely will, game 163. And then if a four-way tie happens, all those games will be played on Monday, and then the two winners of those games will go play the next day in the wild card game. If there's a three-way tie for two wild card spots, assuming that the top spot, no, not assuming it's the top spot. Assuming that one of the two teams, which right now is the Mariners and the Blue Jays, looking from the out looking in, if one of them gets eliminated, but one of them still stays tied, it would be based on head-to-head records, Club A versus Club B. The winner of that goes to the wild card game, and then the loser of that game faces Club C, and then the winner of that goes on to face Club A. And then the wild card game would be postponed because, again, they needed the Tuesday to play that potential tiebreaker game. If there's a three-way tie for the second wild card spot, which I know I'm sounding repetitive, but this is actually a thing. I am sorry if you're listening to this. I am sorry for going long, but this is what we have, and this is where I'm curious about as well. Because again, as a Jays fan, you have to know what could happen if there's a three-way tie for the second wildcard spot. The same situation as if there were two. If you're two wildcard spots up for grabs, A plus B winner wildcard game, loser plus C goes on, and then the winner of that, blah blah blah. And then if there's a two-way tie for the first wildcard spot, the better of the head-to-head records would just host a wildcard game. That's really it. And if there's a two-way tie for the second wildcard spot, the two teams would play a game 163 on Monday, and then the winner of that goes to
My
the
gosh,
wildcard game on Tuesday.
many, yeah.
I mean, how do you feel listening to that?
It is a lot to look at, a lot to review, and a lot to grasp. Like, are we like doing some sort of a trigonometry equation here? I've never ever seen this kinds of scenarios come about later on in the year before the season ends. Like, I mean, all these scenarios can come into play. Absolutely. When it comes to the head-to-head battles, I think that's going to be very, very important for this game and for the final game coming up on Sunday. And I have never ever seen or heard of all these scenarios happening, especially when there's four teams involved in the wild card mix. I think whatever happens, it will definitely be taxing for all those teams because they need to They need to play a tiebreaker game and a wild card game the day after. I mean, it's going to be taxing for them. It's going to be exhausting. There's going to be a lot of, I guess, lineup adjustments, and you need a pitcher. You need a starting pitcher to play a tiebreaker game. Whenever, if ever that happens, coming into the end of the year. Uh, it's certainly you feel like you're doing a trigonometry equation here.
Now, if
But it's going to be exciting.
Now, if when it comes to the head-to-head records and for 2021, right now, and any of the situations where it says the better with the head-to-head record plays, it's all Boston. Boston across the board against the three teams that are left in that playoff spot have the better record. Let me see here. They're 10-9 against the Yankees. They're 4-3 against the Mariners. They're 10-9 against the Blue Jays. So if you're a Red Sox fan and if you are entering in any wild card situation with any of those tiebreakers, I believe that if you were tied for first or tied for second, or even if you had to host game 163, that works in your favor, which is what you want to hear. But of course, if for the Blue Jays, for example, against the Mariners, they're 2-4. They would be in trouble if they had to go back to Seattle. Against the Yankees, well, they have the better record there. Then, of course, against the Red Sox, it's not ideal. So for the Red Sox, that works really, really well. Again, if it needs to happen. And so I think the question I need to ask you, Norb, is what do you think is the most realistic situation after all this? Again, of course, keep in mind that the Blue Jays play the Orioles in a couple hours today. The Red Sox take on the Nationals again. And the Mariners continue to take on the Angels with 2 games left. Like I said, day 161 in MLB. The Mariners lost last night to the Angels. The Red Sox held on against the Nationals, and of course the Blue Jays held on to the Orioles as well. Realistically, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, and of course I have to bring up that the Yankees lost the race. What do you think is going to happen to close out tomorrow? By the end of tomorrow, what do you think the picture is going to be?
I truly feel that with so much clutch, the Yankees are have been performing well. I mean, with the addition of Anthony Rizzo and Stanton and Judge, really like turning up their offense. They're finally rejuvenated. This season, I do think that the Yankees will secure that first wild card spot. I truly feel that. They've been playing so well, although they lost against the Rays in the first game of the series, but they will definitely come back. Because they have the home fans behind them. So I do feel that the Yankees might take that first wild card spot, and it's going to be a dogfight for the second wild card spot. Boston, Seattle, Toronto will be duking it out. The Blue Jays are hoping that the Red Sox and the Mariners would at least lose, at least one of their games. Well, Seattle already lost to the Angels on Friday night, and Boston, beat Washington. But the Jays are hoping for more losses from those two. I really cannot determine the second wildcard spot because it is ever so close. Boston, Seattle, and Toronto trying to win their games. And Boston's on the road, and Seattle and Toronto are at home. So they have the advantage there. But I still really do not know at this point in time what's going to happen with the second wildcard spot. I mean, one of the scenarios will come into play for that one. But I do feel that any one of them, regardless of who takes the second wildcard spot, they're going to make a lot of adjustments preparing for the postseason. Are they mentally, all those 3 teams, are they mentally prepared for the postseason after securing or trying to secure the second wildcard spot? We don't know that. But I do think that it's going to be an exhausting battle right up until the end for the second wildcard spot. I truly feel that way.
I do agree that I think that the Yankees will get the top spot in the wild card. I don't think that is going to change. I think somehow they're going to sneak it. I don't see the Rays sweeping the Yankees. I just don't. Realistically, and again, this hurts to say, this hurts the soul, But I do think that there is a game 163, but between the Red Sox and the Mariners, and the Red Sox host it.
It's
I
entirely possible. Yeah.
I don't I for some odd reason it could be today, it could be tomorrow, but I don't see I see Baltimore being little bitches and just sneaking away a win. And they almost did last night. I mean, the Orioles were starting to climb back, which is ridiculous. When the Blue Jays should not allow that to happen, and I don't know what it is, but I do. I mean, they have won 3 straight against the Orioles. It's not utterly impossible. It's not out of the question. And Toronto's 12-5 against Baltimore, but I do not see Toronto sweeping. I just don't know what it is. I just don't see it. And then I get games. And then I get we get Boston and Seattle in game 163. That's just what I see because I think it'll be. I know that the Mariners already lost one to the Angels, but I don't see the Mariners losing another game moving forward because I know the Angels are not like as strong, and Otani's not pitching anymore either. I believe he was shut down for the season on the mound. I mean, Otani still will probably go up to bat. And as for the Red Sox, again, they're in the best situation you could possibly be in terms of you know who to who to face. I mean, mind you, so are the Blue Jays, but I think the Nationals are significantly worse. And I know the Nationals are slowly coming back last night, but again, they left the runner stranded on second in a 4-2 game. The tying run was at the plate. Game over. I just don't see I just see Boston and Seattle really capitalizing on their opponents this week. And I don't know what it is. Again, I just Baltimore just been that sneaky team that just likes to ruin fun for a lot of teams. Like you're in the bottom of the division. Just stop. Stop trying. What are you doing? Move on. Get ready for next year. Um, but that's just what I see, and again, that's more on the Blue Jays for for allowing the split against Minnesota. The 2 out of 3 against the Yankees was just awful timing, brutal timing, even though they expanded to 30K. But that's just what I see. I just don't see the Blue Jays making it, and I'm hope I'm proven wrong by the next time we talk, whether it be during the middle of the playoffs or maybe after everything is concluded to see who the champion is. But that's just where I stand. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. That's just my thing. I think regardless, we do get game 163. Judging by what's developing, game 163 will come around, which is going to be exciting as hell. And you may as well count that as an official playoff game with their little postseason patches on jerseys and caps. That is my 2 cents. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the picture, for example, we have Houston and White Sox, and let's go start going by the potential divisional series matchups that are already confirmed. So let's start off in the American League. The Astros and the White Sox. What do you like about the series? How do you think the series is going to go? What is your like thought process with that series?
I'm actually looking forward to this series. The White Sox ran away literally with the Central Division. As I don't really know how. I really hate saying it was a weak division because Chicago had most of the advantage uh, in keeping in first place there in that division. Cleveland, Kansas City, Detroit, no match for the White Sox. Their offense is just incredible all year. Jose Abreu, who I feel is their captain. Mark my words, Chicago White Sox fans. Jose Abreu is your captain because he's been there one of the longest tenured White
He's
Sox.
really been great. He's really been such a crucial piece to them, and I
Yeah,
think it's about time that he gets like that little playoff
absolutely.
push.
Yeah, Tim Anderson, Yasmani Grandal, they have been so amazing for the White Sox. That pitching with Rondon and Lance Lynn been great for the White Sox all year. Facing the Astros, we all know the Astros. I don't have a garbage bin right now, but anyway, this is going to be an exciting series for sure. Two offensively battle-tested teams, Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman, still dominating their way to the Astros lineup. I think that this is a rejuvenated Astros team. They are facing all naysayers, whatever they say about them. Uh, I think this is gonna go a full 5 games. Just the, their offense and pitching has been unbelievable. This could go very long. Um, Two exciting teams battling it out. I think it's gonna go long, the full 5 games.
I do think it goes five as well, and I have to say, as much as people are going to maybe shun me for this, I'm kind of happy to see where the Astros are. They moved on. I mean, well, depending on who you're talking to, they moved on. Because obviously there are still some fans out there that will live with them forever. Believe me, I'm a Patriots fan. I get it. But you can tell they moved on. And again, like after all that happened, here they are now still. I'm not justifying or defending what they did. It was awful because again, it ended up with a world title. Um, but it's cool for them to see them get to this point. I do think they go to five, but I do think that the White Sox advance to the ALCS. That is I would say probably say White Sox in five as well. Like you said, the pitching has just been all over the place in a good spot for them. Um, that's just what I see. But again, I gotta give props to the Astros again for for getting here and winning yet another division title. And again, mind you, a fairly somewhat easy American League West. With the Rangers and the Angels never succeeding. The best, and of course the Athletics. I don't get them. They get close. They taste it, and then it's just a collapse from there. And of course, they've been eliminated from contention as well, as they were at one point competing for that wild card spot. And just the Blue Jays just gained a lot of ground. So did Seattle, and then which eventually got the Athletics to fade off into the distance to get ready for 2022. And the last division series, the last guaranteed divisional series, of course, that we see is the Brewers and the Braves. Again, the Braves with a fourth straight divisional title. The Brewers once again winning the division. It's been a while for them, I believe, since they won a division title. And of course, one of their pitchers, as we all know, one of their best relievers, out out of the playoffs after he broke his hand. I need to pull up the name here. He broke his hand.
I believe it was Williams.
I think you're right. Devin Williams likely to miss playoffs after breaking his hand. Yeah, God, people don't. I don't care. I guess being drunk isn't. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Being drunk is not an excuse. Yeah, it's not an excuse. Just why are you punching stuff as you're celebrating? I get it. You get excited, but why would you do that? Punch a person if you have to. Don't punch a physical solid thing. Anyway, Brewers. The Brewers and the Braves. What do you like in that series?
Judging after all the the Brewers went through with Williams injured now, I think they still have an advantage in this series. Like I really want to see Milwaukee go the distance, but unfortunately Darren Williams will not be there. But I think this series is gonna be dominated by hitting. I really can't grasp the pitching much. I mean, the Braves pitching and the Brewers pitching has been a little bit topsy turvy this whole season, this whole year. I mean, Max Fried started off very very slowly. I mean, Charlie Morton as well, and then he picked it up right at the end of the year. The Brewers pitching, we definitely have to see. Corbin Burns has been their ace. But I think I really want to have this series go long as well. Maybe the full 5 games, but it could be a little. It could end up a little shorter than that, because the hitting will definitely dominate. But the question is about the pitching on both sides. Are they going to be solid enough? Are they going to be mentally tough enough to face the respective opponents up in the plate? I mean, Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Adam Duvall has been leading the way for the Braves offense, and you got Eduardo Escobar acquired from the Diamondbacks for the Brewers. Really reigniting that offense, and he's doing so much contributions right now for the team. Christian Yelich, he's been up and down all year long. But the question remains, like, will he step it up in the series? Uh, but I think at the end of the day, it's the offense that's going to take over this series. We just have to really have pay close attention to the pitching. It could be an up and down series for on both sides, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be exciting the way it should be in a postseason environment, especially between the Braves and Brewers.
And of course, you do have to bring up, obviously, the Braves, getting to this point without Acuna, which is still, obviously having Acuna in the lineup at this stage obviously would be crucial and very, very important. But obviously they didn't, yet they still cruised along. So again, I think they stepped up in the absence of Ronald. And again, that's what they are. Now I do see the Braves moving on, but maybe not the distance. I don't think it's a sweep. So I'm gonna say maybe Braves in 4. That's my prediction, because again, like I think, like you said, like the pitching is gonna play a big. I think it's gonna play a big role here. And I just think that this Atlanta's bats are just kind of like very, very outgoing, very, very powerful indeed. So I think that's where I'm gonna say Braves in 4. And as for the other divisional games, I mean, it's hard to say because we don't know who's gonna end up in the divisional series for each. Because obviously, the Rays are waiting to see what's going to be the conclusion of the mess of the wild card. But I do think that regardless, no matter who advances to take on the Rays are going to be pesky bitches, and they're just going to cruise once again to the American League the American League Championship Series, because the Rays are just stupid strong. It just makes no sense with a payroll like that, but there they are. That's what I see. I just see like the Rays steamrolling everybody. I mean, like, again, look against Boston, 11-8. Against the Yankees, 10-7. Against Seattle, 1-6 actually.
Wow.
That's kind of funny. And of course, against our pesky Toronto Blue Jays, 11-8. So, I mean, I guess you don't want to see Seattle. I guess not.
They
But
could be an X factor. Those Mariners, they're not giving up.
they're not. And of course, with
Their
their slogan,
fans are unbelievably loud at this point in time. Seattle's always been a loud sports.
no, for sure. And with their slogan, "Believe," hell yeah, big fans of that. And of course, in the National League, let's see now. What I know, with the Giants taking on the Padres this weekend. Which, by the way, I think we need to quickly bring up how incredibly disappointing it's been for the Padres. Hilarious, I might add, but that is just, I mean, the hype that they got at the start of the season with Tatis and everything, and just it's over. Which again, I mean, this was a team that we were ready to see World Series patches on their jerseys, and it's not happening. So that's kind of funny to see that. And the Dodgers play the Brewers, and what was the result last night? I forget here, like what happened last night. Let me see here. Friday, October 1st, you had, let's see. I mean, you had the Dodgers beating the Brewers, no surprise there, and you had the Giants beating the Padres. I do think my guess is that the Giants win the division. I'm going to say the Giants hold on, and which forces the Dodgers and the Cardinals wild card. But I do think at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it's the Dodgers Giants NLDS. I do, like I said earlier, I don't see the Cardinals going forward. I know they've been a crazy tough team, but I don't see it with how strong Dodgers and the Giants are, and I think we should get 2 100-team Titans playing it off to see who goes to the NLCS. But that's my submission. I just that's what I see, and I do see the Giants advancing out of that anyway. I think I'm going to claim it now. I think I see the Giants in the National League, in the National League Championship Series. I do see them there. The Dodgers losing Kershaw is really, really bad at a time like this. Not what you want to hear. And again, I just don't see the Cardinals as strong as what the Giants are doing. So that's my pick for the NLCS. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. It could be a National League Championship Series between the Dodgers and the Giants, but I still do not count out the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright has been the Adam Wainwright of old. Like he's vintage Waino, so they could play a factor. I really am looking forward to the possible Dodgers and Cardinals wild card game. Yeah, it is a big blow for the Dodgers to lose Clayton Kershaw, but they still have a lot in their arsenal to continue on without Kershaw. But I still don't feel that anyone should count out the Cardinals. They could play a factor, but more than likely, I like as much as the fans want to see Cardinal Giants and Dodgers in the NLCS. Yeah, that could be an exciting series, but the Cardinals are still going to be outsiders looking in. I'm pretty sure.
Well, on that note, I think this is where we would call it a day here, and just see what unfolds in these next 48 hours. Because I know the National League has to sort out their wildcard situation, but it's not as intense as the American League wildcard situation. So we're gonna see what happens. It's a fun mess to be in. I will either cry of joy or cry of utter pain with the Blue Jays. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, I think that we're gonna call it here. So for Nor Cabrera, I'm Jose Tabata. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back, I believe, sometime midway through the playoffs, or midway, or maybe once it's all over, to see what ended up being the fallout of all this. So for Norb, I'm Jose. Like I said, have a good day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, that too, at Fair Foul 2020. Thanks, everybody. Take care.